a chance to work on the stand at the moment because this is a non-Brazilian encounter, one of the only ones in the final stages. And so is Gisele Amantino, the second referee. Tough gig for the referees when Brazilian teams keep making the final stages of the event. Well, Austria will be announced first. Well, number one, Christoph Dressler from Feldbach, 6'6" blocker, 12 seasons on the World Tour, 79 tournaments. And this is a big moment for him. And his partner, Alexander Huber from Klagenfurt, one of the iconic locations of the sport in recent times. 5'11", the defender for Austria. And it's all smiles for the new Italian pairing. Alex Ranghieri has not had it easy over the past few years. Injuries, a lot, but he's back in the big time now. The Olympian now playing with Daniele Lupo for years, one of the best we've seen defensively, playing with Paolo Nicolai, but now a new partnership. And it's strange to see Lupo play with anybody else but Paolo Nicolai. They played 92 tournaments together, 3 Olympic Games, and they took a silver medal just up the road in Rio. And it's interesting now as the Pro Tour has been announced and the top 16 teams will qualify. A big result needed here for both teams, but more importantly, Daniele Lupo and Alex Ranghieri to make sure they're in the top 16 when the new Pro Tour starts next year. 2 balls coming from Dressler. It's a smart move early on. Big aggressive approach and a pat over the top of the block. And for Lupo and Nicolai, they took, well, all top 10 and top 5 finishes this year. They haven't medalled, or Lupo hasn't medalled since Doha, the 3rd place in 2020, but they're certainly still in the top teams in the world. So now they've split, it makes it very, very interesting, and it definitely presents an opportunity for Alex Ranghieri to get back into the big-time stakes of beach volleyball. Was impressive through the King of the Court series. First jump serve out the back. All very quiet here as Dressler serves for Austria as we get a bit of a bird's eye view, and it's almost a role reversal of Ranghieri's serve. Long angled spin serve out the back, and well, for Italy, they've only just lost the one game, and that was yesterday to a very impressive. You have to give credit to Victor Felipe, who's climbing the ranks once more with Brazil. Former partner of Evandro, obviously had a good stint with him, but now playing with the world under-21 champion. 3-time junior champion, Renato Lima. They go through, or they are through to the final a little bit later on. Passes off the net. Huber has to try and find a solution. He does find a solution, but Lupo is there. There's a touch off the block. Dummy 2 ball this time, trying to move Ranghieri and open up a little bit of space for Huber, and that works really nicely for Austria. And this dummy 2 ball from Dressler is a good one because it just makes Ranghieri pause and take a step, and it's a game of inches for Huber at 5'11". If he can just make Ranghieri drift when he's blocking and not allow him to be too stable, it's going to make it easier for him to score. This time to the line is a good swing from Ranghieri. Ranghieri is no stranger to the big occasion. That win in Doha in 2016, also won in Antalya the same year. And with Karambula, they really were a threat to anyone. They made a silver medal in the European Championships in 2015. which was in Austria, in Klagenfurt, the hometown of Huber. Chase is on. Huber now from the right side, trying to go hammer to the angle, but Lupo is there, this time from the centre, and high off the hands from Daniele Lupo. Well, we saw Lupo at the World Tour Finals with Nikolai make the final four in their last competition together. Just has this ability to have fantastic vision of the court. Serving straight down the line to Huber, and Huber goes wide of the mark this time. Italy bounced back to the perfect start here. Austria, who lost run of points yesterday against Andre Loyola and George Wanderley, one of the only Brazilian teams to actually stay together post-Olympic Games. In a game they lost, their first loss of the week, 21-12, 21-18. But until then, Austria were perfect. 4 wins in a row against Germany, Belarus, and Denmark. The crowd are certainly settling in for what's going to be a fantastic final day for Brazilian volleyball, with Agatha Duda playing against Tayana Lima and Hegeli in the women's final, and then Victor Felipe and Renato against George and Andre. It's going to be a festival of volleyball for the Brazilian fans. Huber, good timeout, comes back out and hits one sharper on Daniele Lupo. It's a good turn from Huber, that. Not being as big as some of the other players on the tour. It'd be tougher to hit those angles, but looks like he does it with ease. And Lupo now out of system. Bump Cuddy. That one's not coming over. Maybe it is the perfect timeout from Austria. They've come out from 6-3 down and won 2 in a row. Ranghieri just needs to clean the glasses slightly. He's also getting told he hasn't got as much time as he would potentially like from the referee. Played 29 times with Karambula, 2 wins and 1 bronze medal. It was the best partnership in the career of Ranghieri. They accumulated 4,285 world ranking points in that time. This is shaping up so far to be a fairly unusual game here. Italy spending a lot of time out of system the last 3 points after what was the perfect start. From the left side, Ranghieri, better. As soon as the ball is moved into the centre of the court, into a good area, he has full vision. He can see just about everything. And the ball's coming from a good area from Lupo. Everything's in front of him. Huber getting asked a lot of questions early on. Brought through the middle this time and asked if he can hit the line. The answer is no. And there's big swings of points here for both teams. So both will have full belief that they can go the whole way and take this bronze medal. But it's Italy by 2. Daniele Lupo, who qualified for the Olympic Games in Haeung in 2019, where 2 places were up for grabs at the Olympics. Martins Plavins and Eggers Toch taking the other place from that competition. Another partnership that's unfortunately fallen by the wayside post-Olympic Games. Speaking to Toch earlier on, still looking for a partner, has some options as the merry-go-round continues towards investing for future successes. Ranghieri, a wider set this time. The hands of Lupo just seems to be able to put that ball in the slot every single time. Not easy. Ball's drifting on him. Has to have quick feet. Has to extend the arms to the target. And the last time that Daniele Lupo won on the World Tour was 2016 in Sochi. A couple of European Championships in the middle of that one. Serve from Dressler on Ranghieri, and that's 3 side outs in a row from Ranghieri. This time outside to in, chip back line. Blocker has to move, defenders parked on the angle. Really playing the angles game nicely from the Italians. Huber pats one back on the cut shot. And for this Austrian team, they've won twice on the World Tour. One in the Quidong 2-star in 2019, where it was an all-Austrian final against Peter Exler and Florian Schnetzer. Lupo the target because Ranghieri's made 3 in a row. And then for Huber Dressler, they also beat Russia in the final in Siem Reap, Cambodia, back in 2019 as well. It's a 2-point game for Italy here, but Huber is finding his side-out rhythm. He's looking efficient, he's mixing up his swings, and there's a technical timeout. Italy by 1. Ranghieri is in absolutely no rush, is he? You take it easy, sir. You've got around a minute to switch off and switch back on again.
Dani, devo giocare un po' con Sandy.
Wenn der Ranghieri zum Service geht, beide bereit, gell? Okay? Ich stelle es ein bisschen rum aufgemacht. Das einfach mal drauf gehabt, hat Finger richtig. Eine Seitenlinie oder klar, genau.
Well, a slight tactical chat between the partnerships. Huber Dressler with a good win against Christopher Abel and Jakob Brink from Denmark earlier on in the competition. Denmark, while making a 5th, there was some achievement this week, defeating Evandro and Alvaro Filo in their first international competition together. A fantastic result of 5th for Denmark, beating previously what was a great result for Peter Kildegard and Martin Ollesen, taking 5th in Doha back in 2015. Denmark back on the map with Ollesen now coaching the women's team and Peter Leo, the head coach of the men. But Huber from the inside crushes angle. Ranghieri sat on the line. Well, Evandro actually won this competition in 2018 with Andre, so Andre could win this for the second time now with George Wanderlei a little bit later on. And Mol Sorum won this competition in 2019. Just another one that they've won. They actually won this in the middle of winning 3 weeks in a row in 3 different continents, the Vikings in 2019, who are now the Olympic gold medalists. To the line from Huber. He's found a side out when Austria needed it the most. Look at Lupo always scurrying around the backcourt, making late movements, trying to play with the vision of the spiker. But Huber makes a good decision to just pad off the top of the hands. Lupo this time slightly off the net, so he won't have as many options, but he does have a high line. Something that Daniele Lupo has just used and abused for years, that high line. He's got 6 or 7 different types of line shots at different speeds and depths up the court. Short serve on Dressler, change of service tactics, and it looks as if there could be a point going the way of the Italians due to a net touch against Dressler. Italy lead by 4 here. Short to the inside makes it very difficult to kick out. Looks like there could have been a net touch off, well, more than just Dressler. It's off the aerial, the ball in the end, actually. It wasn't a net touch whatsoever from Dressler. It was a pat into the aerial. Huber back to the line. Ferocious swing. But Italy will still be delighted with their start to this bronze medal match. Missed a couple of side outs early on, but they've looked fairly solid since then. And Ranghieri was enjoying that play yesterday, the back set chip back angle. Maybe the door has just been left slightly open for the Austrians. Italy have to take a timeout here. Maybe, just maybe, there's an opportunity for Austria. Ranghieri missing a side out. Just needs a little bit of time to revitalise.
Bella alzata, eh? Voglio giocare a nano. Sono 2 cazzo di metri. Niente. Non la boccio. Side out.
Side out is the aim. And the atmosphere is so different from when Brazil are playing. Very subdued compared to what we've just witnessed in the women's bronze medal match. But the fans are still here loving their beach volleyball. Lupo off the hands this time. It's coming on the turn from Dressler. Loses a little bit of height. Ranghieri is, well, fist-clenching celebrations because that saves the side out for Lupo. Didn't have much on there, Lupo. Had to try and go high off the hands, and Dressler could only find the net. It's now Dressler's time to just clean the sunglasses, something that we see often enough on the World Tour. Players obviously need clean sunglasses, but sometimes they just need an extra second to compose themselves as well. Great passing from Huber. It's a little bit tight. The technique was really nice, but in transition, post-timeout, Ranghieri has been on form. Pass looked really good from where I was sitting from Huber, but Dressler thought it was a little bit too tight. Went over on 2, and well, that's how it ended up for them. Huber from the inside goes deep on to Daniele Lupo, and it's a good swing because Lupo sat in the right position, but just the accuracy, the deepness of the swing makes it difficult for Lupo. Lupo is one of the best that we've seen on the World Tour in recent years. Off the net, reverse play again from Ranghieri. Moves the block defense before hitting away at the seam. In system again, Huber from the inside, goes with the knuckle back to the angle. Lupo with the dig, this to bring up set point. Italy have been strong so far. Huber to stay alive, and it's a huge point in the context of this one for Austria. Good setting from Dressler, extends the arms towards the target. It's off the net for Huber. He's got a few options, but must see Ranghieri dive into the angle there and go off the hands. Is there one last opportunity here for Huber Dressler? Ace is plucked up from Ranghieri. If Italy win this one, they've done very well for themselves. Ranghieri with the block. Great cover from Huber. This rally a little bit unorthodox, but we'll take it. Pretty exciting stuff here from Itapema. Jumbo, tomahawk defense from Lupo. Lupo from the inside, away from the body. Creative. He's a magician. But we have to give a little bit of credit to Alex Ranghieri's reactions, because the first pass from Lupo was very rushed and quick, and the one-handed stab from Ranghieri at least kept the ball alive. That's why maybe Lupo isn't looking too pleased. But it's Italy by 4 anyway. And their first set point. Dressler the target. The reverse play way off the net, but the line is open. Oh, bump cutty from Ranghieri. Oh, what a way to seal the opener. The odds are against Ranghieri. Huber did well to keep the ball alive, but it's Italy that take the opening set here. Two reactions early on in the two final rallies. Miraculous from Ranghieri. That bump cutty seals it. Lupo keeps it up, but hey, how about that one, Italy? That one's not in the playbook, but they'll take it.
Sì. Va bene, così sul pezzo è tutta sulla calma di gestione di queste palle. E sta tutta nella differenza che facciamo tra noi e loro. Vai. Arriva, mi asciugo.
Ja, da wird nur geschottet, gell? Ja, das verstehen wir. Genau. Zumindest einmal mit der Aggression hingehen, gell? Okay? Ja.
Well, set one was a lot of fun. Reasonably comfortable for Italy in the end, but Austria will certainly have something to say about that as set 2 is underway. Wide plays to pin, opening up the angles for Ranghieri, in or out. Line judges on our picture did not want a slice of that one. The ball is out, and the Italians are off to a very good start. Austria have only had one 3-setter this week. That was against Lukas Preschner and Robin Sova from Germany. Touch off on the way through this time. Well, Lupo gets his hands on that one, but it just gets past him. The Italians haven't had a 3-setter as of yet. They won all their games 2-0 and just lost their semi-final 2-0 also yesterday. It was very, very close. Good game of beach volleyball. Victor Felipe had one recovery, like an overhead kick running away from the net that was just on another planet. Ranghieri serving straight down the line on Huber. Huber goes deep to the angle. It's a really good side out. We've seen Huber hit the line a couple of times from that situation. Now we see him work it back to the cross court. And just varying up the swings is going to make it a lot tougher to read, especially if the approach line is exactly the same every single time. Ranghieri, faster tempo, tries to chip over the top of the block, and he's underneath the ball there, Alex Ranghieri, and that stops him dictating where he wants the ball to go. Dressler had seen it though. It's one thing seeing these things as a blocker, it's another thing executing a action that's going to score the point for you. From the inside, once again, wide into the line. Huber is sat there, much better this from Austria. It's a smart swing, looking for the hands, but to no avail. But they're finding some block defense tactics that are really working. Serving Ranghieri inside and sitting the defender on the line was a good piece of work from Austria. Passes off the net, having to get the feet in towards the ball. Dressler, Lupo is there. Did the ball hit the sand? No. Daniele Lupo, the magician, pulling rabbits out of hats. And putting the ball away in offense. Italy still lead by 1, and you feel that Austria have had a far better start, but Ranghieri, they're serving good angles here. Italy, they're stopping Ranghieri, and Lupo stopping Dressler, or making it very hard work for him to get an approach to face the cross court, and when they do, they're making moves to try and take away that cross court option. Wonderful from Huber though. The baby line, back to the sideline. Sees the defender, parked in the centre. Will do the rest himself. Dressler serving. But Ranghieri, so far, unstoppable in this second set. Dressler loses the hat, but doesn't make the block. Huber's played 168 tournaments for Austria, now the 36-year-old. Had some fine moments. Austrian volleyball very much built on Klagenfurt and inspiring generations after that competition. Now the home of Austrian beach volleyball is in Vienna, where the European Championships took place this year, but there's no doubt that major events will be back in Austria very, very soon. Well, they've never left, really. European Championships are sight to behold in the city centre. Sitting on the angle, Huber. Dressler's got the chase on. They're one behind. Oh, Lupo wanted to have a little nudge at that on one, but he's going to use all 3 touches. Sat in the pocket. Very good from Austria. Dressler, last time on the turn, found the net. This time, there you go. He's having a little flex to the crowd, Christoph Dressler, and why not? Because his work off the ball with the setting and then with the spiking, very good. And that's Lupo doing Lupo things again, just twisting the ball back on the sharper angle. You have to have a very smooth arm to turn those sorts of angles. Service to the inside. This is a service target that Italy are really going after. They're making Dressler work really hard. It's a jump set. Doesn't sell the 2-ball though, Dressler. And the offense is out the back. Huber, well, he wants to have an opinion on this one. Things with the jump set. It's difficult to grab the blocker's attention unless you show that you're going to hit the 2-ball first. If you look at the way that the Swedes are playing, Jonathan Helvik and David Arman there, constantly showing that the 2-ball is an option and a threat. From the left side. Similar tactics. Lupo parked on the line this time, but Dressler finds a point as the teams are trading. Be a big moment for Dressler if he can walk away with a medal. "12 seasons on the World Tour, but this would be his biggest result." Lupo with an error. Austria back all square. Lupo from the inside, and this is how Lupo's built his game over a long period of time, passing to the centre, being in system and being able to see everything. Italy certainly in the driving seat here, but you just feel that Austria are very much in touch. And if we've learned anything from the women's bronze medal match today, is that you can lose the first set by some distance and still bounce back in sets 2 and 3. Huber serving long angle on Lupo. That would make it difficult for him to get an approach to the centre of the court, but the recovery setting from Ranghieri is good, and sometimes it's tougher to play block defense in those variable situations. It's going to be an exciting few months for Alex Ranghieri and Daniele Lupo as they look to establish themselves as a World Tour pairing at the highest level, and this is the perfect start for them. It's also so much change with Taylor Sander taking to the beach. We're supposed to be playing at Skra Bełchatów in Poland, indoors again, but making his way onto the sand with Taylor Crabb. They fell to Andre and George, though, earlier on in the competition, but there's some good signs for the Americans. This game, well, just one in it. Austria keeps siding the ball out here.
Lupo, vor allem wenn raus, kannst du nur öfter mal gucken, so beim ersten und zweiten Mal Adungen werden. Dann so schwere Seiten wird.
Well, bom dia to Brazil. We're always going to have a full house, aren't we, in Brazil? Especially when it's Brazil versus Brazil and Brazil versus Brazil.
Aber ich glaube, wir können noch vielleicht noch mehr in Bedrängnis bringen in der Zukunft.
In the finals for Austria. Well, things are starting to turn back in their favour. Huber's played a lot of the ball from the inside, and from that situation he has a lot of shots available to him. Can turn it back on the cut shot, can go high line, can turn that baby line as we've seen. But Ranghieri and Lupo, it's just in their favour at the moment. Ranghieri off the net, has to do a lot of work off the ball. It's a dive into the angle from Dressler, high hands from Ranghieri, and fast plays in transition. We like that one. It's not easy from Ranghieri. It's not easy for Lupo, really. They have to be sort of telepathic, which, we've only been a partnership for a short period of time, isn't always easy. Just hit. the fast bump set to the pin, putting Dressler under all sorts of pressure. Ranghieri looking for that crossbody swing again. We've seen that on the reverse set all weekend from Ranghieri. That from the right side, he loves hitting back across his body. Huber, who has had so many entrances in Austria, Vienna and Klagenfurt on home sand, with Exhibit being played around the stands. Very much his song X for Zandy. It's going to be Huber from the inside. How many times has Lupo got a touch on the ball defensively, but hasn't managed to convert many into transition attacks and kills? Again, to the inside, it's smart from Austria. They're just trying to work Ranieri's feet off the ball from inside to out to see if he can still hit the cross-court angles. As we've said, sometimes he favours coming back to the line or across his body. Ranghieri looking solid, and for a long time, let's not forget Karambula Ranghieri were a top 10 team in the world for a solid period of time, and Ranghieri certainly seen as one of the best blockers throughout that period of time. Yes, he's had his injury problems, but still poses such a threat at this level. Just lifted off from Daniele Lupo. Knuckle off the hands, the set's a little bit tight. He gets off the net really nicely. Tries to charm one jumbo on top of Huber, but not this time. Over the top of the block, and hey, Austria, there's the break they've been chasing. This game has been relatively based on side out for a period of time now. Austria have been chasing. Game on. Huber serving deep, and with the way that Lupo plays the game, you wouldn't blame Huber for sitting a little bit more into the seam, but it's one thing that if you were to draw a scatter graph on Lupo's offense, you'd have so much back to the line, but he's also got that cut shot back in abundance, and he's got the hard swing to the deep angle, which makes him very difficult to defend against. Some players will only have one or two tendencies in where they like to swing the ball, and as you get to this sort of level, well, they've got 4 or 5 options from every single approach line and area of court, which means then players have to start to try and bait the opposition into going into other areas, show them something, take it away. This game far more complex than what you'd think. Huber back to the line this time, diving into the angle, Ranghieri. The line is open for business. Lupo back to the short line this time, or not so short, maybe medium, but Huber sees that, and it's one thing seeing it, but it's a real nice posture in the air, and it allows his arm to guide through to the target. Long angle from Lupo. And that one's gone wide from Daniele Lupo. Had to take a pause to wait for the scoreboard to catch up there, but that's very good from Austria. They've kept serving long angle on Lupo, making it tough for him to get to the center of the court, where he likes to play his offense. The errors come as a reason of their good service tactics and applying a little bit of service pressure across the body.
Di avere un attacco di seconda, perché non lo stiamo usando per scelta, ma abbiamo il controllo per farlo. Quindi ci rendiamo anche più facile. Siamo un po' più creativi, dobbiamo trovare l'energia giusta. Adesso ho fatto 2 brecchini. Dai, rinarici.
Interesting encounter in what feels to be a subdued arena compared to the atmosphere in the women's bronze medal match, and so everything just seems a bit quieter. But this game is fascinating. And you have to give major props to Austria just for staying consistent in their side out and being really patient in earning their opportunities to make breaks. Timeout smart from Italy, just buys them a point with the service error. Ranghieri needing to try and sink one from the baseline. He's done a good job of knocking the rhythm out of Dressler, and it's a late move to the line. This is to bring it back level again, but Huber is equal to Lupo. Lupo is sitting in the seam. He's made a really good read there, Daniele Lupo. In or out? Certainly in. That's miraculous. We called him the magician. Maybe he's a wizard. Ranghieri looking to the crowd, looking for anything to really fire him up here. He said he likes to pull rabbits from hats, Lupo. And that's another one sliced to the backside of the sideline. And since the timeout, back at 17-all, and it's Huber now who's being asked to side the ball out, and he does so with ease. Showing a lot of line there, Huber. Both Italians brought the bait, and to turn that back with the hand would be tough, but with the knuckle it's slightly easier. Agonizingly close. Are we going to 3 here for the bronze medal of Brazil? Who even knows? It's a race to 3. Breaking on the angle. What a great break from Ranghieri. Smart from the Italians, breaking on the softer attack. And he's pointing to his own brain, Alex Ranghieri. It was very, very smart, breaking on the cut shot. The approach line facing quite to the center. And hey, look how smart he is. Very smart play. Lupo sitting on the sharp ball. Paying attention all the time, but now it's Austria's turn to rev up the crowd. One thing's for sure is that you're always in for an entertaining time when Ranghieri is playing. Big dive into the angle, doubling up there the Italians, leaving the line open. Lupo off the net, free ball. Austria. Here you go. Here's a free gift from Italy. Lupo sits on the sharp one really late to save his own side out. But no, Huber from the right side. Lupo again. It's a battle of the defenders. Daniele Lupo sat in the pocket. Huber, what a rally. Something has to give, and it's Austria that have set point now. They've turned it around again. Lupo and Huber just having their own private battle. Two or three good reads and good digs. The sand monster catches Lupo. And Austria have set point to send us to 3. Dressler serves Daniele Lupo, who puts himself in system. It's a fairly quick play, but Huber's rushed. It's a good defense. Knuckle He's making digs for fun here, Huber. Has to try and put another one away. In or out, the ball is in. We go to 3. Ranghieri thinks it's out. Huber, Dressler, they take it though. Sandy Huber goes straight to the crowd. And we have a race to 15, putting on a show, the Austrians. Yeah, that one's in. Some of the digs from Huber. Absolutely incredible. This bronze medal match, carnage.
Era la palla perfetta da tirare, ho preso un nastro, io dato. No, non è la palla perfetta perché è alta. Era perfetta da alzare. Da alzare? Ok, era molto a filo, Però va bene, va. Oh, l'unica cosa che ti chiedo io. Fanculo quella. Sì, grazie, no. Poi però, torniamo col cazzo. Però dal 18-17 sì. È iniziato a cazzeggiare, invece ti voglio concentrato. Concentrato appunto se non abbiamo fatto fino adesso.
It's very interesting for those who watch a lot of beach volleyball to see the dynamic of Daniele Lupo and Alex Ranghieri in their first international competition together as we have a look at some highlights. Fairly different dynamic to the one shared with Paolo Nicolai. Austria, though, are in business as Italy and Lupo get us underway in set 3 with an ace. We didn't have 1-3 setter yesterday in the semi-finals. But this is our second in succession here on finals day. Straining up the ball to get the ball in the hitting window. Huber, good cover. Well, this is the reaction that the Italians would have wanted. Unsure what was being said during the break in between sets, but I'd be surprised if it was let's go out and serve an ace and then serve another big one and get an overpass in our favour and make the most of the free ball, but it's exactly what's happened. Reverse play. Oh, that's so good. Sandy Huber with the snake charmer off the body. He's showing a lot of line here, so anyone playing defense is buying into that. And to be able to chop that ball back so sharply, it's not easy, and a few shoulders might just dislocate in the meantime as well. But this is where the battle has been really interesting because Huber has got a very good read on Lupo at the moment. Lupo's finding it hard to find the sand without Huber being parked exactly where Lupo's playing the ball. To the inside. Dressler, who's been served inside a lot of this game, has been served inside and blocked to the line a lot, and the angles have been taken away cross-court, but this time he runs the reverse play to just put Italy back under pressure. More doubling up into the cross-court from Ranghieri and Lupo. It's the way the game's going with so many good players and so many good offensive strategies. Players are having to double up on a more regular occurrence. It's no longer about blocking the line and sitting on the angle and waiting for something to happen. It's more about making things happen. Lupo. Certainly one of the best of this generation, Lupo. And his serving has been the difference so far. 2 aces in this third set for Daniele Lupo. One that's come also with an overpass. Serving straight down that channel. It's awkward. It's difficult for Austria. Because of that, they've had to take a timeout.
besser. Na gut, nimm. Einfach zurück, okay? Beide bereit wieder. Frühes Signal, früh entscheiden.
Well, this game has given us a little bit of everything, isn't it? But it's Daniele Lupo who has served Italy into control of set 3. There's some unbelievable footage of the World Tour finals in Cagliari just last month, where Nicolai Lupo beat Jake Gibb and Taylor Crabb in their last game as a pairing, and Jake Gibb's final match in what has been an incredible career. The amount of respect, and rightfully so, from the Italians, incredible. The game will be a lot less without the likes of Jake Gibb and Phil Dalhouser gracing us week in, week out with their presence. Huber is gracing us very nicely. It's another big swing through the angle. To the inside, Lupo served into his comfort zone of an approach line. And he puts one away to the line. Austria get the point on the graphic, but pretty sure that's gone Italy's way. It's Italy by 2. Looks like Dressler's got a slight knock to his neck and shoulder. I mean, he's got a heavy shoulder on him, so no surprise that he might just pick up the odd bit of wear and tear at the end of a long competition. And Italy, from the driving seat, have just squandered a lead once more, and it's a strange old opening phase of a third set, this. Ranghieri from the left side, once again served to the inside. Only really has the line in that situation, but you can only have the line available to you, and you can still make a great decision, and that's exactly what happens. It's a wider set, so that sort of dictates the play going to the line for Ranghieri. Jump setting from Dressler. It's really good from Ranghieri. Dressler tries to sell the second ball attack a little bit more here. Chest a little bit into the opponent's court, but Ranghieri gets all swatty on it. It's another missed serve from Italy. They've missed a few, but they've also made a couple of aces early on here. The final's going to be a fascinating one as well, because yes, it's all Brazilian final, but Victor Felipe back in the big time, exactly where he belongs with Renato, 3-time world junior champion, and they're up against George and Andre, also from Brazil, but they're a team that would have qualified for the Olympics on their own right if it wasn't for the country quota. That is a humdinger from Lupo. That's why he's so hard to play against. From that situation, he can turn back to the line, 3 or 4 different variations. He can hammer deep angle. He can chop back to the sideline. And that's just as big from Dressler. Shows a lot of line there before opening up his arm and turning back to the sideline. Good game, this one. Women's bronze medal match was also a very good game. Ranghieri, once again, goes for the back set, tries to turn it back angle. I mean, we say try, he does it very, very well. Beats the blocker on the way through. Serves deep on Huber this time. There's a big opportunity. Ranghieri's in, he's trying to close the gap, but Huber points straight to Dressler. because Dressler's job there is to roll it on. The ball's way out of system. It's a situation that they'll practice time and time again with the pass off the net, but it's rare that it happens to be that far off the net. Dressler puts Huber back in. Huber does the rest. Wow. Out of system setting. Late swap blocking, you name it, Dressler does it. Good adaptation, goes up early. And then the right hand adapts very, very late to the shot of Ranghieri. And there's a change of ends. A missed serve from Austria gives a 2-point lead back to Italy, but one would say there's a little bit of life left in this one. Well, the ball is given out. Italy may have just wanted the decision to go their way. Good from Ranghieri. You can see the ball mark. Good serve to the line. Once again, they know exactly what they're doing with Ranghieri, but Ranghieri blocking to save. Side out, no! Squeeze to the line from Dressler. He's given it the big one in celebration because Austria are level. Knees on the floor, fist clenching celebrations, pat down the line. They're working hard here, Austria. And again, this would be Dressler's first major medal on the World Tour. It would mean so much. It does mean so much. Have a look at that. Turned into a full-blown war. Not much time left in this one, but lots of time left in this one, if that makes sense. Lots of action. It's going to be a thrilling finale for what has been a pair of incredible bronze medal matches. Christoph Dressler goes with the jump serve. Ranghieri the target. There'll be some tired legs out there. That's sharp. That's undiggable from Ranghieri. It's quite tight to the net that time. It allows him to have a little bit more space to work this ball back. Lupo, who's delivered a couple of aces so far, back on Huber, this time from the centre. And Huber, who's gone back to the line in the earlier sets, is starting to access the angle from that centre area. Had a good game, Sandy Huber today, as has Dressler. The patience through set 2 that they had to show to stay in the game and then make their breaks at key times. One-handed defense. Daniele Lupo. So he got from the inside. He hits the baseline. No complaints from Huber. Italy 2 away here. Well, they're united, that's for sure, in their first international competition together. And they would love to leave with some hardware. Miss serve this time from the right side, Ranghieri. Been a lot of missed serves in this third set. Well, Christoph Dressler chasing what would be his first major medal on the World Tour. Puts a good jump serve into the court, but it's calm, it's calculated from Ranghieri. Remember, Ranghieri defeated Huber in 2016 in the Doha Open to win gold with Karen Bühler. He's looking to get back on the podium today at Huber's expense for bronze. It's a first bronze medal point for them. First dig from Lupo. It was unbelievable, but Dressler is unwilling to throw in the towel here. He unleashes after the seam. Smart swing when you use that back set. Defender shifting into the angle. Blocker trying to seal the line, leaving the seam open. Overhand, Huber with a chance to break. Ranghieri's all over it. It's good blocking from Ranghieri, but Dressler is in charge at this moment in time. And now Austria have match point for bronze medal. A deep breath for Dressler. Daniele Lupo now to stay in the game. Dressler is there. It's a huge result for Austria. It's a big medal for Christoph Dressler and Sandy Huber. They can't quite believe it. Huber back on the podium at a big event internationally since 2016, and it's the best result for Christoph Dressler. Yes, this team have won 2-star events, but it's a big medal on the big stage in Brazil at the expense of Italy. Italy had a match point themselves. It's a new pairing, Lupo and Ranghieri. They've had a great run to get to this stage, but today was all about Sandy Huber and Christoph Dressler. A pump on the chest, a proud moment for Austrian volleyball. And there'll be some pure emotion. What a game. It's never going to be easy, but crikey.
Let's do some big wave. Let's do the big wave. Okay. And 3.
Well, a little bit of celebrating with the crowd never goes amiss, but Dressler was somebody who was extremely hungry to make the difference at key times, and he certainly did at the back end of that set. Great celebrations as well. Proper Terminator performance from Dressler. And some celebrations and some pictures that they will certainly savor. Wow. Austria take the bronze. There's a confirmation. A close game, 16-14 in the last, 21-19. They were also down for large proportions of the second. They were patient. They were very, very good when the pressure was on. And they were match point down. And I think we're almost ready to hear from them courtside with Leo, and I'm sure they're going to be ready to celebrate.
What a match. Congratulations, guys. Can you please tell us, how does it feel about winning this match?
Yeah, for me, it really means the world. It's our first big medal on the big stage, like a 4-star. And a lot of people are constantly doubting us. We're not getting much love from our federation or from whoever. So it feels really good to show what we are capable of, and just to show that we can play.
Tell us a little bit about the second set. Yeah. How was that?
You want to go again? Okay, it was so hard, to let go of all the thoughts and doubts with myself first. And then when I came into the state, like letting go of the thoughts, like going to my strength, remembering what we can do good and also what my partner can do good. This is very helpful. I was talking so much with my coaches before, you know, my mental coach, you know, my commander from the army, which is a big support, with my ball coach from Greece. And then there was this moment where it made click and I got into the side out, I saw the players, and then I didn't have much blocks, but I had it when they were decisive, and yeah, this was important.
How does it feel playing in this big crowd cheering for you guys?
Wow.
It was so awesome. I mean, we are used to Klagenfurt crowds. We're from Klagenfurt, so, but this is not far behind, and really a big appreciation for this crowd and for this tournament, because the people, they are really good crowd. Also yesterday when we played against Brazil, they were clapping for good rallies, they were clapping for good actions, and so it's just a lot of fun playing here on this center court.
Thank you very much.
Vamos! Congratulations.